This is the best-selling car in the world right now. Of any car, not just electric, of any car. It's toppled the Toyota Corolla, which regularly sells well over 1 million units a year around the world. In this video, we're going to find out why. Welcome to Nobby on Cars. The Model Y has been around for quite a few years now, but it's never been more affordable. Is that why it's now the most popular car in the world? While this dual motored version with the optional white leather, different paint colour does creep up the price, if you're willing to buy one that Tesla have already spec'd for you, you can get a Model Y for really low 40s in Ireland, officially starting from about €46,000. Is it because of the great tech on board, the brilliant supercharger network, the fact that it has an amazingly usable boot in the back and the front to keep anything extra that you might need? It's even got room in the bottom of the boot for charging cables. And then there's all the space inside for your rear passengers, your front passengers. There's just plenty of room. But the car's not without its faults. And for the purpose of this video, I've actually made a list. For example, the cruise control. One day it just went from 80 to 30. Slapped on the anchors, car behind me going, what the hell is going on? And it just decided to have a mind of its own. The wipers drive me mad. The auto setting doesn't sense rain. So you've got to manually go in and control the wipers. Sometimes it's not enough, sometimes it's too much, and it just ends up annoying you. The ride quality, something that Tesla say they're continually working on, is still too hard for my liking and many other people's. And there's quite a few rattles, particularly from the boot part of the car, whether it's the kind of clumsy parcel shelf or just the suspension, I don't know, but there's enough of a rattle that if you don't have your tunes on, will annoy the hell out of you. But then there's some great features like easy entry that you can set up where the steering wheel and seat just open up to let you into your pre-saved seating position, also including the steering wheel. You can use the Tesla app and precondition the car, whether it's just instantly on your phone or you can set a timer so it's always toasty when you jump on board. The supercharger network is absolutely fantastic, and while you probably won't use it that often because you really are mad if you can have a charger in your house, running an electric vehicle without a charger, it would just be insane. But for those times you will need to use the supercharger network, it's just flawless. Did I mention there's plenty of space for the entire family? Dog boxes, kids, bikes, it all just goes inside. Inside the car, it's bright, it's airy, the screen is pretty easy to use. I love the fact that you can have an online version of the maps. There's the games that keep the kids occupied. When you're charging, you can watch Netflix and YouTube. All this stuff is well documented. But has the Model Y become any better to drive? That is one of the main things we need to find out in this video today. And how efficient is the Tesla Model Y compared to so many other EVs on the market? The price comparison is the thing that often comes up with Tesla, but something that doesn't come up quite as much, but I think is worth mentioning, is how efficient they are. Even when it's cold, even on motorway speeds, it is not impossible to obtain 16, maybe even 15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers in this car, and most other EVs just can't quite get there, certainly in my experience. Now, I don't know if you can hear the rattle that's coming from back there, but it is a fairly prominent sound, and it's almost like hailstones hitting off the window of a car. Now I'm on a really smooth road here now and it's gone, but as soon as there's any sort of imperfections in the road, it's just tap, 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 tap. And it to me sounds like it's part of just a really creaky suspension setup. My only other real complaint, I mean, I love the one pedal driving, I kind of like the surround system that keeps an eye on everything, although there is still the argument for the fact that there's nothing in front of the driver, or a head-up display. You do have to take your eyes off the road, albeit briefly, to see what speed you're doing, stuff like that. The other main criticism of driving this car is just the overall ride. It's still quite choppy. You feel a lot of bumps. You tend to, like, here's a series of potholes. And like any car will do that, don't get me wrong, but it's the way you're sort of tilted from left to right at times. It just isn't always the most comfortable car to either be behind the wheel of or to be a passenger in. And that really is, I suppose, subjective to what type of roads you're constantly using. If you're on a motorway for 90% of the car's life with you in it, then there probably would be little to moan about. It has great acceleration. This level of autopilot will let you pull out, well, the car will do it for you, into another lane and sweep back in when it's done. It waits for gaps in the traffic. Now, it does warn you that it's in beta mode only, which kind of makes you wonder, is this going to actually work properly, or am I taking my life into my hands here? Acceleration is fantastic, and you've all the grip in this dual-motored version of the car. So from a driving perspective, it's punchy, it's nippy, it's great for darting in and out of gaps, pulling out of gaps in traffic, and overtaking is so easy because you've so much torque just available instantly. I just wish Tesla would get that suspension just right enough that it's not something that can be commented on in a negative way anymore. You mightn't like what Elon Musk stands for these days. You might be a little bit annoyed by the ride quality, and the underlying and constant thing that you have to keep coming back to in this car is the price. And I just think you'll let it away with its niggles because of how little you can buy it for. And in that sense, I kind of get why it's the best-selling car in the world right now. The Tesla Model Y. Who knew? Thanks for watching.